Hello and welcome to another episode of The Screenshot, your go-to destination for youth culture, entertainment and social issues. Today we have a very special episode for you guys. Today we're going to be talking to young people who've decided to turn nostalgia into action. So they've come up with a different way of advocating against drugs and substance abuse. So I'm going to let them tell us who they are and then we'll dive into the episode. Ladies first.
Thank you very much for this amazing opportunity. My name is Fundile. I'm a professional educator, a CITE youth parliamentarian, and a representative of Zimbabwe in UNODC Youth-Led Integrity Advisory Board.
Welcome to The Screenshot, Fundile.
Thank you.
Fundile. It's an inside joke, guys. It's an inside joke.
Salbonani Mlikamalami Sondlane nyamezela DRC Sox the Poet. I am mainly an ecosystems developer around the creative and the entrepreneurial space. And I'm the founder of an organization that mentors young poets called We Create Africa. And in everything that we do.
All right, guys, I'm very excited for this show, for this episode. So let's dive into it. I mentioned that you guys are turning nostalgia into action. And someone might be wondering, nostalgia? What's nostalgia? And so I'm talking about childhood games and things that we grew up playing, and you have created and you want to do an event called Games for Peace, which will be advocating against. Let me let you guys tell us what this whole event is about. So,
All right, you can go ahead.
In piggy book. The spirit of Farmer Games.
Okay, thank you so much, Melinda. Let's come Games for Peace. Mainly, we're talking about a platform where people like Bobby Lebuntwan and Babo, right, and like just enjoy Sitlama games that are sense as a that community spirit, right? We used to play as a community, so that model gives us the idea of when you are playing, you are free. When you are playing, you also remember more of it and retain a lot of knowledge. So with Games for Peace, we're trying to have conversations and dialogue while it's utilizing those games where there is no one there is no one who is more important. Each and every one of us are children. So it makes it easier for us to even have intergenerational dialogues within that circle. When we talk of things of drugs and substance abuse, issues of mental wellness, when we talk of issues of even violent crimes that have been happening, in order to address them, we need to address them in a holistic manner where everyone within a community comes down and we create a solution down. Because abantu abasichayayo in violent crimes are the same people abantu esebesidlala labo. And nxa kusenzakala konke lokho, you also realize ukuthi it's because of certain factors that are affecting us. And there is something that is wrong within the family setup, within the social setup. So we are saying we are all responsible for all these things. So how can we then have a solution? But in order for people to come through, and all that, that's generally in the briefest sense, planning point, 10 hours.
So I like the idea. It's very unique and it's very creative, I feel like as you grow older, you forget these things, especially social media. It was really nice to be out there and have fun. So, but I do like the idea of us going back to that and then having the dialogues that you wanted to say. Do you want to add something to that?
Yeah, so probably just to add on, because if you look at the civic space, it's always an issue of high-leveled meetings, high-leveled workshops. To whom do they serve? What's the purpose of those high-leveled interviews? Because sometimes we'll be having problems that are within the society that affect the general populace. But the general populace, at the end of the day, they don't get the opportunity to speak for themselves. It's always I, Fundile, saying I'm speaking on behalf of the marginalized. Who is the marginalized? So because land ekasi lapha batholakala khona, and in a setup less formal, so that anyone can have an opportunity to speak. Yeah.
Talking about ekasi, I'm saying sin, but I'm having corn. We're a team, guys. I know I'm traumatized, so take me back. So talking about ekasi, this is Makandeni sports ground. So why Makandeni? Why did you choose Makandeni?
Okay.
Otherwise, guys. Why did you choose Makandeni?
All right, so basically we wanted to do this gas allocation. So we had to look within our within our
Areas of influence.
Yes, within our areas of influence. Ayachaza ubala Sox. So sithe sesikhangele sakhangela kathi ukuthi uSox uhlala where do I stay? How best can we do this? So we had to turn down quite a number of areas. So we then decided Emakhandeni. Why? Because we've got access. Already we are children of Emakhandeni. We grew up at Emakhandeni, so it was easy accessing those facilities from the city council. I guess that's the reason why we then chose Emakhandeni, but mainly we wanted to be Egas.
All right. And Sox mentioned the dialogues. What are the issues that young people in that area are facing that will be having those dialogues?
Okay, so I think in terms of dialogues, right, and also to get on the front as well. And the other issue that you then realize is within the site in the Emakhandeni, some of the violent crimes as they are in close proximity to Emakhandeni. Right, Richmond, in most cases, there's always been around that close at that area. So if we're to also address those violent crimes, we better start where the problem is, right? Then also in terms of dialogues that we'll be having, you find that I think youth issues are broad, like across the country, right? Where we are now having like a proper, like it's a state of emergency, and there are now issues of drugs and substance abuse, and they're alarming, right? You look even at Bulawayo as a whole, you also look at it as mental health, you find that it's deteriorating even more and it's affecting like different sides and all that. You talk of issues even to do with unemployment, being idle and all that. So all these things are things that you also find at the Egas Emakhandeni, right? You find them within that area as well, where we're finding drugs are something which as a city, right? So these are some of the issues that we want to have the conversation with them and with Abantu. And having this conversation, our understanding is conversations cannot be held in silos. Conversations, they need to include everyone. Because for me, which is it's because probably at home the situation is not okay. You also talk of issues of economy. The economy is not okay. We all know that, right? You are Form 4 and everything else. Form 4 you could get at least a menial job or something. Right now, so is stress. Things will start to pile up because responsibilities, they still come. You're transitioning into adulthood. So pull out 2, 3, 4 times. So we pattern. It's now a way also dealing about these things. Whereas the conversation could be, let's come as a family, let's come as a community, settle training down here, because even if we say youth issues do not affect only the youth. Youth issues affect the entire community. All those things, they end up coming back to everyone else. So, yeah.
All right. So, talking about how there are so many issues that are surrounding young people and causing them to act the way that they're acting, and like this is now just a general question: are there many spaces or places that you know of, Lapa, where young people are welcome? You are dealing with this, and that. Come in, let's talk about it. We offer this type of services. We offer those types of services. Prior to you guys, starting this initiative, and in not only Emakhandeni, have you heard of spaces where young people are free to say, hi, mina lapha kusangihambeli kahle, come in, let's talk, learn.
And I think because of formalities that usually exist within our institutions, young people usually shy away. Imagine a situation whereby I have to talk to you in English, a person will shy away. Imagine a situation whereby I have to visit your office and you say, Unotachi, I'll shy away. Imagine a situation where I'll come, Ufuna, you see. So, yeah, there are so many issues that are involved, especially when we look at our institution, how institutions run, the hierarchy, protocols, and so forth. I guess that's where then Games for Peace comes into play. To level the ground, making sure that everyone is seen, everyone is heard, we are all equal. Yeah.
That's why I really like the concept. It's nice to let your head down and then be able to do something productive also without feeling like, sometimes those PS circles can be stressful, but I really like the idea of and so well done, guys. So what's the day going to look like?
The day I've been none.
Oh,
Okay, maybe just a run through of the program, right? Obviously, with some spaces, there are certain people to invite them maybe on an official capacity. You need to also have them talking in official capacity, right? So we've got people that we've invited that we're expecting to grace us, and like the Minister of State, we are trying to have as the main locals, guest of one in our event, because actually now the space is I think right? So you have maybe just within the hour, it won't be an hour full, but within the hour, we'll just have a breach of conversations, maybe like addressing and protocol. But soon after that, we break the protocol. Now the person that will be leading, because the program it will be Carlos Ngos, and Malimas really now leading so that is when now we're breaking down the protocol. We're now breaking down all that seriousness and everything else. So we'll have interactive games like those ones, Carlos Ivins and I, where people as a whole they are playing and everything, right? Then we'll have competitive games where, like we're saying, people need to register for those competitive games, right? 25, things like a take of war. But so these are games that we have within that locals. So there will be different games playing at the same time. Then we also have a place where we are having like a creative corner of sorts. Now to Kubla Sekulanj, now Kulanj driving motors amawaya, but I was weirds. But we're quite skills on corner, right? So a creative corner, we are going to be having people like that who tell me we are motors amawaya, and young people can even come and see what how these are done. You also even when the Borala paper, Caesar because last after my Borama paper, and all that back into
Alright, so that seems interesting at all. But do you think this new generation, this young, fragile, I'm joking, not fragile, do you think they'll relate to these games? Because times have changed. When people have moved from China to video games to, kind of FIFA, Most Wanted, like Call of Duty, and do you think they'll relate? And when we say, what is our target, which age group are we targeting exactly?
All right, this is intergenerational.
Oh, no, man.
It's intergenerational.
Actually,
So I know someone specifically who said, I'm a dollar, I won't be able to do this. But I want to like I want kula leana lea yokuchika leana yokwenza so lena yengifuna lea.
So like the kids though, the youngest one, do you think they'll be able to relate to those types of games?
So I think it also depends with when you're saying kids exactly, like who are you referring to?
Let me say teens, all right. Let me say like from 13 to 18.
I think this will be an experience. So when you're curating an experience, people always want to be part of an experience, right? It's not even just saying which games is what not even hours on the day the rules of it will be explained. And again, some of those games are crash. They are part of the learning, like the cognition and whatsoever. They are part of the process that we call. So as much as Abanye will say games last year, they still have an idea. And on the day, we adventure. So there are some people that will come specifically for adventure. There are people that will come then there are people that will come just to show them But so if you guys face any challenges coming up with this and doing this event, I know so but City, you know what? By fire by force, we are doing this.
It was like when we started, like we had this idea, I think it was last year in November. And then we're saying we can do it in April. Then in April, because I'm also employed, I'm a full-time employee of the government, so I'm supposed to be at work. Sox is also tied up. Cousins are. So we're always trying to balance between Intozining and seasons. You find out we even postponed it, I think 3 times before even announcing it. Okay. I think so that was the greatest challenge, trying to balance everything, which is making sure for sure, are you going to be able to do this? And then secondly, we had to tone it down to try and understand what is it that we need for this event to be a success. Because we are talking about drugs. Personally, in my line of work, I don't know anything about drugs. Probably if you were to ask me about something that is education related, then I can answer you. So now that we're talking about drugs, we need now a trained personnel, a professional who can tell us more when it about issues to do with drugs. Then we also, when we're talking about mental health, what's mental health? I don't think we are also in a position to do that. So there are so many stakeholders that we needed to bring into book to make them understand our vision, our idea. So that was another greatest a challenge. And the third one, I think, it's finance. Because for us to have this, there are certain things that we need. We need resources. We need a PA system. We need someone who's going to record this so that we can serve a record for future generation. Because you're in a situation whereby you do it now and you've got nothing to carry on or to reflect to when we're talking about the same topic, SARS. So there was a lot that was challenging, but we managed to soldier on and try to overcome some of the things. Some of them we're still trying to work through them.
Okay.
But hopefully we'll win.
Oh, definitely. On the 16th. If you're not there, we'll be there. If you guys are, now we are cancelling. I don't know who to leveling up, but us will be there. So now, what do you guys want people to take away from this experience? What is it that after all is said and done, after all the games have been played and someone is now going home or they're home, what do you want them to take away? What's their reflection of the day?
So maybe I'll call in two ways, right? But no Fundile is QS in this parliament. So I think the first thing that we want in this whole thing is the understanding that a problem shared is half solved, right? So the reason why there is dialogue is because we understand that we can't solve your into one, but we can start talking about these things, right? So within that conversation, in order for us to talk about these things, people need to know people need to know the systems that are around and available, which is why you find, which like a Kuluma, some of the partners that we're having are people with expert knowledge, and we want them to be able to make the community know that their offices are open. You know, it's like spaces like in general, which in the Ministry of Sports, people they are saying to idle and everything, but there are opportunities that they have that side, right? Zimbabwe Youth Council has got its own opportunities. National AIDS Council has its own opportunities and information that is being spread. There are youth networks, there are whatsoever, all across the country. There are these things that are there, but people within the grassroots do not know how to reach out, see and grab hold of those opportunities. So when we share the problems, you might find which this is how probably can be upskilling, right? Because they are there. There are even training courses among that are free. Some of them you can even find them on net and everything. But wherever we stay, there are resources that people can leverage. And we can only do that when people know. So conversation will help people to know how to navigate most of these things. That is one. Then secondly, again, we want to also then even see we as a community that we have a problem. Yes, we came, we played and everything else, but we have a problem. So when we have a problem, that means if there is need, we should be able to sit down and create structures that can help address some of those problems, right? Because you find that internationally, a lot of our departments, in terms of industry drugs and substance abuse, they are taking them seriously, right? So what is then left is the community itself needs to organize and mobilize to really fight against these things and create its own systems, resources or no resources. Like in Fundile, we had to utilize a lot of social capital to make this thing come through. But you are organizing an event that will bring together a lot of people. So how do you do that? You need to be able to communicate, create networks, within the community, and everything else. Otherwise, yonke can be solved, but as long as there is the will, it's easier. So for me, I think importantly, that is what people need to understand, that needs to be reiterated. Then ufundile ngezelela.
Yes,
All right, let me mother tongue. All right, I think like greatest issue that we have is we outsource information. Like there are always ideologies that exist within the society that we take up and make them our reality. So at the end of the day, no matter what we do, no matter what is there, because we now have got that mentality, that ideology of what reality looks like, act in a particular manner. Specifically ngikhuluma like mostly ngama-government ministries. I realized something. Yazizolobe ngiye-CITE trucks ngisiyaba-invite. And like prior information esasiyitholile bekungathi asosakwanisa ukungena, or we need to know someone to be able to get into that office. But ngifikile laphana le ncwadi yami bayibala anzange explain anything. Bafaka istamp kwathana sinambo zakhuluma la nguye umuntu lo zabe ezolifundisa ngama-trucks. It was so easy. But ingabe kuthiwa ngicontinuele ngigcine information liyana that I've outsourced, ingabe ngihambanga ku-CITE trucks. Same applies to Ministry of Sport. Sithe sifika laphana like they welcomed us, basifundisa ngezinye izinto ade singakwazi. I didn't even know about SRC, so aranyikho mostly entweni ze-sport. I'm more into public speaking and so forth. So ngangakwazi ukuthi SRC ikhona lokuthi when you're doing something that has got to do with the sport, you have to go SRC, seek clearance. Ngavele ngikwazi ukuthi ngihambe city council, ngicela ama-ground up, ngiye-police, ngiyabazisa, ngibe-cleared, then ngingakwazi ukuthi kunenge okukhona, but people we don't know. And also lokwesaba angeke ngafika like futhi ku-army futhi ngiba-invite probably ukuthi they can also bring in i-team yabo ye-tag of war, because I saw ku-ZBC ukuthi they're also doing the same things, campaigning against drugs and so forth. And also like it was so easy, they were so welcoming, but because of ideologies that exist, sometimes gcina sizincisha thina amathuba khona. So I think it's important ukuthi sibe lalokho and sibe lama-stakeholders endaweni one, so that people can have proper information.
I think that what you're talking about really does stop a lot of young people from pursuing different things, because I don't know where we hear these things, but even I have been victim to that. I can't access this, I can't do this because it's for certain people. So I think talking more and more about it is addressing a day. I'm calling, hi guys, try and do these things. Sometimes I'll sit there. It's for other people, won't be able to access it. So I always ask my guests this question before they leave, and sometimes it has nothing to do with what they were talking about. As individuals, Lina, how would you determine your level of success in life? Be it now, be it in 50 years. When for you to say, I'm now successful, how would you determine it?
That's a very profound, very self-reflective.
I love that question so much.
I will break it down and kind of after that question.
No, I think one thing that the screenshot has, and it's very bright and dynamic young people who come here, and it always inspires me. I think I take it as inspiration because I meet a lot of different people and we're doing a lot of different and amazing things. And so hearing their own versions of how they would determine success, I love being me. Pascal.
It's okay 50-50.
Well, no, they didn't get the memo.
All right. I think to a certain extent, being able to touch lives, being able to reflect and hear someone saying, in such a manner, or I am this person. I mean, personally, I'm already changing lives in my line of work as a professional educator. So there are some young people who come to me at Jeluti. Anyways, like abantu abafundisa abasazi isifungo sami, so bathi misifundi. So bakhona babuya isibili and say ukuthi anginceda laphana, yabona, those kind of things. So I think being able to touch lives, reflect back ngibone lami legacy yami that I've built, not legacy in terms of e-wealth or something. But your network is your network. Yeah, sengihamba laphana sengidondolozela ngibone umuntu akasoke sengamfundisayo ebuya laphana ukuthi yabona, you're having like responsible members of the society lami ngikhona laphana ngi-influence that person to be where they are, because sometimes it's not a situation whereby I'm fighting to be at the top. It should be a situation that it's a pattern. I'm passing to someone. Which is a finish line. There are so many issues that are involved. There's so much that we need to achieve for peace. Games for peace. For peace in general. So yeah. I mean,
I love that.
Being a person of influence. pausing and reflecting to see what Lama did something. Beautiful.
Copying.
Plagiarism.
Me too.
So, I mean, I think they are. I put it before. But my idea of success, rather, is in everything that I do, in every space that I'm at, right? Everything collapses, whether creative work, entrepreneurship work, the activism that I've done, the advocacy for mental health that I've done has always been helping also, like Fundile, to shape, it's not just the general populace, but to shape leaders into understanding the world from a perspective that is inclusive of umuntu wonke, right? And in a positive way. So my journey, I wish to be the voice that helps leaders realize their potential and also like reach their potential as well, to properly self-actualize. That is one point of measure success. Yeah. So whether ngixoxa lawe or ngixoxa nofundo anything, you will find that because I'm very much in touch with my inner child, right? But you always get something of value at the end of the day. That is me in everything that I do. Then secondly, success to me, without happiness, it won't be success. So happiness to me comes at a point where I really do not have to worry about the environment in terms like to be negatively impacted by the environment that I'm in. As much as I contribute to it positively, it won't limit me from being, right? So give me that success where I also do not want anything. I'm able to afford what I want, right? And able to, whether ngithenge Honda Fit or ngithenge the latest Land Cruiser, I want to be in a space where I am happy about my achievements, celebrating the little things that I do generally. So these are the two main points our success give me. And happiness then comes obviously with family and all those things. Because I also think as a generation in England, we always want to run away from the traditional roles of which there is family. And to me, having a family is also part of the success.
Guys, you eating money for me. I'm joking. I'm always touched at this segment. I'm always saying it also. Do you know what's weird? It's like sometimes you've gone to something is solely for you, right? And then someone else says it. And so for me now, in my line of work, I work with a lot of young people, and whether it be it here, Ekobulawayo, and then Kuma rural areas, and then I see the bridge that is there, like abantwana bangapha olethu labangala, and I see the difference in their lives, and it always fascinates me how can people so close be worlds apart. And so for me, I think it changes over time, the level of success I'm in different situations, but I want to bridge that gap between young people. Like I want them to know from this side of life, it can all come together. They're all facing the same things but different things.
That's what they come together as exactly with the cars.
So my level of success is reaching young people in different areas and making sure they know a potential. As someone who thinks personally, this is me saying, I'm venting, guys, who thinks I slept on my potential, and it hurts me when I see someone else trying to moving towards that direction. So like I said, as someone who slept on her potential, I don't want to see other young people sleep on their potential. And I also say this all the time. Most young people don't want a mother. They want this is what I provide, sisterhood, and someone who is not old enough to be their mother, but young enough to understand and relate to the certain things that they're doing. So, so definitely for me, my work with young people is, if I can just unlock that mystery, guys, push. That would be success for me.
As umkhumbuzo omunye mfowethu lapha eMakhandeni, like uyasincedisa especially with the football aspect games for peace. Like when you phone every time, it's not like I ain't lutho nge-life yakhe. Mangifone yathi na ngithi ngaphi ethi ngisama grocer lapha nisabona love. Like ngomunye umuntu engihlala ngikhuluma ngaye ukuthi ulenhliziyo enhle kakhulu. Inemina lami engikwazi ukuthi yes inhliziyo yami inhle, but I don't think yami yafika. Uyakhangelela abantu. I remember the last conversation at la bekhuluma ngabantu begasi labana abatshone emabridgini and the likes. Besitsho ukuthi ngabananzelela abantu bona uthi his greatest ideas bathatha kwapha. So creativity yakhe uhamba kwaphana, they usually help him, especially when it comes to nurturing and growing ideas, man. Yabo. And uyatsho futhi ukuthi abantu labana like there lama issues abenza ukuthi befike kulevel lena leyana ukuthi umthole sesenatha lapha noma umuntu wayesebenzele imali but life happened wasithola sese-preaching. So there are so many issues that are involved. Like unyenze ngakhumbula umfowethu who has been like a great influence as of recently.
Good numbers.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that one is
In other words, we document stories. That's a good story to actually.
yeah, like really, like he does a lot. Because like when was it on Friday? That's the National Clean Up Day. Skambela was out siyavusifense emakhandeni lapha, and the person was mobilizing ngokwe, and like the way ale ndlela ngayo ukukhuluma labantu, like uyakhuluma lo muntu from different levels. You can be there, uyakwanisa ukufika ku-level yokuthi akhulume lawe, make you understand from the level where you are. So sithole abantu ama-gents amaningi, amanye ngingacabangela ukuthi ngakho nje sokusedonsa iwaya lapha kade emthole busy like iwaya sivuka udaka though mina ngisavukanga udaka kakhulu because ade mbalekile emsebenzini ngayenza ngabuyela
kade mfuku usebenza nini
so kumele ukuthi la simbalekile.
All right, I can let me look. Thank you guys for coming to the show. Let me wrap it up. Ufundile abuyele emsebenzini. Abantwana umemfundi abuyele emsebenzini. So thank you guys for coming and talking to me about Games for Peace, and also the idea of feeling up. I think it's very powerful. And this is our Kolisa on the 16th. Remember, guys, 16. When this episode is, it will be Wednesday. So Saturday, Celandis join Emakhandeni Sports Ground. So this is Lalama Games. It is also Lala's cool. And everyone's welcome, man. So come bring everyone, your Gogo, your Granny, everyone. And also please leave some love for Fundile Sox today. Leave a comment. Tell them they're doing a good job. People need encouragement, you know. So leave turn. Guys saying emotional. Anyway, make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, we're all there. So till next time, bye.